lives. And the challenge that I've got for all of you today, and I think this is exactly what you've been telling me, is that, man, we need people to step a little bit further than that. This is something about the feeding is great if it is got a purpose, and that purpose being relationship with somebody else, so that you can share the truth of God with them, so that you can share the truth of your own life with them, and offer friendship to them, which maybe, I know, and this kind of leads into the next part, which what I've got down here is the con, and that being that, there's a lot of people down here that have learned to live a certain way, and so there's a bit of a con that can be involved in interacting with them, but at the same time, they're so hungry for that connection and that relationship with somebody else that sometimes even the stories they tell you are only to capture you so that you'll talk to them for a while, so that you'll listen to them, so that they can have someone that seems to be interested in who they are. But can you share a little bit about maybe what you've learned in regards to kind of the con game that sometimes is played down here?
Yeah, it's a tricky thing. I mean, the first couple months, it's just super hard to discern because I mean, I want to believe for the best of everyone. I want to believe that what they're telling me is absolutely the truth, and they're spilling their guts. But I would just like to I guess put a seed of caution out there, is that as you're coming into this place, be wise, but also gentle. I think be quick to listen, slow to speak. I think it's something along the lines of listen well and care. Going back to that Acts 3 Peter and John scenario, they didn't just drop off alms. They reached out their hand and walked with them, or they pulled the man up that was lame and walked into the temple with them.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I would suggest. Maybe something along those lines is as you're coming in there and you're reaching your hand out to pull them up into a relationship with you, and that it's basically walking with them through this day and just enjoying the day with them. And we're not going to solve anything probably majorly tomorrow. It's going to be just initiating hearts to bring a relationship. So all that to say, that beware, because there's going to be 1,000 different stories if there's 1,000 different people down here.
Yeah.
And they're going to say different things. Just be wise. If you're not sure, I would ask some people that are kind of familiar with this area, because they're just going to think, man, if I just had $20, I could get this bill paid, or I could get over here to this state, or whatever. There are things in place already for all those needs to be met.
Yeah.
What they might be actually trying to do is just
work a game with you a little bit.
Work you overtime.
Yeah, there's vouchers for those that might find themselves homeless to get to different cities. And we'll even have some of those that day. We'll have a resource center that will be set up, but you're going to be walking through, I guess, an assessment, an understanding of each person that you're working with, to really get a feel for what's going on in their life as we pass them through that resource center. There's resources down here for people always to find food, to get connected to social services. Many of the needs that you might get hit with, if someone's asking you for money that day, it probably has a lot to do with working a game. And so don't bring money, okay? Don't come down here loaded down in your pockets full of cash that day. And if you got a really nice watch and a bunch of nice rings, it's probably not the day to be wearing that either. We don't need to see that down here as well. It's probably best to not be wearing those things as you come downtown to work. But man, just again, I think a great word of advice there was, as you encounter some of these stories, there's a team down here at the refuge that Tim leads that's very familiar with a lot of the individuals that you might even be coming into contact with that day. And so as you have questions or maybe need a little guidance, find me or Tim that day, and man, we'll try to help you out and walk you through that. And then even following that, you're going to get information on how to connect at the refuge, whether through email or whatever, to contact Tim. And you can also contact your life group's pastors, or even anybody at the South Campus that works down here pretty regularly, so that we can help guide you through maybe some of those decisions. Because we do hope that you will form relationships with people. We do hope that maybe some of you will find time in your day to come down here and continue to connect with someone that you make friends with that day. And we want you to be part of their lives. But at the same time, we do want you to be wise in how you work with them. I want to talk also, and kind of as we wrap things up, about guilt. And when we talked about this yesterday, you know, we don't ever want you to come down here out of a sense of guilt. And guilt doesn't come from God. It does not. And there's you mentioned yesterday about it gripping somebody's heart. And that's really what we hope, is that, you know, people will be here and it will grip your heart in a special way. But we don't want you to feel like, you know, that you are in a position of like, man, I'm such a terrible person. I need to get down here. Nothing good ever came from that place in our lives. It comes from something else. So can you talk to that? Just kind of some of your experiences of how you've seen people that have been here and have experienced it, and kind of what they've gone through in regards to that?
Yeah, I think my first experience with homelessness was in college, and which I think it was about 12 years ago or so, and I was just like, I just felt like, man, I had so much, and here's somebody laying on the street, and I just wanted to give everything, you know, and there's probably, you know, this idea that I was kind of doing it out of guilt, I think.
Yeah.
And I think that really ultimately, just if I could suggest one thing, would be just like, don't be motivated or manipulated because of the guilt. And that would just be kind of probably what the enemy would like to throw out.
Yeah.
But really let Saturday be a day where Christ grips the heart, where he grips the heart to call you to an obedience, whatever he's saying there.
Yeah.
But like, don't do anything out of guilt, but do everything out of love,
Yeah.
out of obedience. What is Christ saying? But and again, it's not all about just Saturday. It's about what is he calling us to do as the believer every day,
Yeah.
as a lifestyle. So again, there's going to be this huge temptation Saturday. You're just going to be, oh my goodness, I got to do something, which is awesome. And if God's stirring you up, go home and listen. What is he saying overall?
Yeah, that's great. Well, and I guess really in closing then, man, and I appreciate you helping us. And of course, Tim will be around throughout that day. You know, you can check him out. He'll probably have the same cap on. He's a good-looking guy. But man, you can talk to him, and of course, his team will be here, and all your pastors will be with you. So, man, if we can help in any way that day, we want to. But first, you know, as we go through this, man, be prepared. It is going to be something that I would ask that you spend some time in prayer about over the next couple of days as we prepare to come down here. This is a spiritual fight, man. The word says that we do not wrestle against flesh and blood, and we absolutely do not. This has been over the last 3 years, I can't tell you how dark this place felt when I first came down. Man, I just want to totally tell you, great job, because it does not feel the way that it felt 3 years ago, dude. You've done an amazing thing down here. God is working mightily through your team and what you guys are doing, and it's making a difference here. And man, we just hope that what this weekend turns into is just some giant, like jumper cables, like you said a minute ago, just another shock to this area, and really to our body too as well, because as the church, man, over this last weekend, you guys, we had a couple great messages. We had Andy Stanley the first week, and you got to hear from your campus pastors this last week about what our church should be about. And man, our church should be about love. Our church should be a church that looks at our own lives and looks at all the things that we have and be extremely grateful for what we have, and then we do something with it. And so you guys have signed up for this, so you're part of the group of people that is believing that. And so let's be in prayer about our entire church getting on fire for this kind of movement to be the church, not just in our own cities, in our community, in our state, man, in everything that we do. And so, man, I just want to say thank you for all you guys willing to be a part of this. Remember to be fun and flexible. This coming Saturday is going to seem times like it's like a Chinese fire drill, but I promise you it will get straightened out. Everybody will have a great time, and I know that you're going to walk away from this event impacted, and you're going to feel like you did something that day that mattered, and that's what's important, that our lives matter. All right, I think that's it. Is that
Sounds
good?
good, man.
Good?
See you guys Saturday.
Okay, we say whoever finds God finds life. We'll see you later.